Yeah, welcome back to the world of SkyShard. It's time for another little developer update today. I'm going to do a full run as always, and I'm actually going to do a little tier list. Some of you out there have been making unit tier lists, ranking all the units from best to worst. I thought I might join in on the fun and share my thoughts and inevitably talk about design and balance and so on. But first, I did want to just recap this last patch we put out, since I don't think we talked about this one in a video just yet. Basically, kind of a cleanup patch first and foremost. There were a lot of bugs that developer Ben has been working through. As you can see here, this long list of bugs, some much bigger than others. Also just some changes in regards to how fatigue damage works, but also some really big nerfs. Like we just murdered Tesla Coil more or less. I mean, it's actually still pretty good, so maybe murder's not right, but changed the functionality a lot. And now that it splits its damage, that was kind of the OP build up until a couple days ago when this patch landed. Also, Power Plant got changed, which was the kind of 1-2 combo. It was crazy powerful. So changing those, lowering that the ceiling on those a little bit, has certainly opened up the meta in the last 2 days, and you guys are reporting a lot more fun being had and a lot more diverse builds working, which is certainly what we wanted. We don't want like perfect combos and perfect things that you're forcing and always hitting. We want each run to feel a little different and surprising, and you have to kind of play it by ear and just take things and figure things out along the way, as opposed to perfecting a board or maximizing a combo all the time. So good changes there. Since this patch landed, I guess 2 days ago now, Ben has been in a little bit of like cleanup mode as well. He just put a big old note in the Discord talking about like reworking a lot of the code. You know, this is his first big game coding, and you know, a lot of this groundwork was laid as a very, very new developer, and as he's learning and improving, he's now going back and be like, okay, there's some systems we can kind of implement that are much better for like future proofing us, much more scalable. I think he had a lot of things that were like very manually input based, and like he had to go tweak 50 variables at once when he wanted to change one thing here and 50 things here. So now he's got more systems, and he just hits the button once and it kind of, you know, naturally handles everything. So if you're interested in that, you can go check out the Discord. I'm not going to break that down because I'll have no idea what I'm talking about, at least not too much. But just getting the game into a healthier spot so that it runs better, it's easier for us to manage and update, easier to add stuff, and hopefully just doesn't cause as many bugs and problems from you know, that term spaghetti code. It's now a nicely organized lasagna instead of spaghetti, I guess. Far more structured. So anyway, TLDR on this patch is game already running better, meta much more open and presumably much more fun based on, I think, most people's input. And even after this, hopefully things will run even better in the near future as well, which that's great news. You know, bugs have been one of the things holding us back a little bit. I mean, I think the game's still been really fun and not that crazy for a super early version, but nonetheless, hopefully more and more bug free as we go. So that was the latest update. What I want to do now actually is do a tier list, because a ton of you in Discord were sharing these tier lists you made. Lexicon, I believe it was, in Discord put together this little tier list, put all these images in here, which is a lot of work making these tier lists. I know you gotta go crop every image and load it into here and stuff. But a lot of you have been sharing your tier list, so I thought it'd be really fun for me to go ahead and just do my own tier list. Can I zoom in and get rid of some of these ads, dude, or just maybe close these out? I don't know. I will note that unfortunately, I don't think I have a good way to show you what the units do as we go. Like, you know, I don't have like the tooltips. It would take me 100 years to like edit up all the tooltips and add it to the video later. So I'm just going to kind of try to describe what they do while ranking them, as opposed to trying to show you like the full text or whatever. So if you don't know the game super well, hopefully that's enough to get you by. If you do know the game super well, that's fine. You'll just like to argue with me a lot. So let's just go in order here. Powerline, I think that's the official name. I don't actually know. Probably going to change all this names anyway eventually. But I think Powerline's probably a C tier unit. This speeds up town stuff. I think it's totally fine at doing that. But I think both Saloon and Bakery do that a little better. I think they're both just a little bit more decisive, perhaps, in the way they speed town stuff up. Maybe not as universal always, because they care more about adjacent or have limits, but seem to have been more impactful, particularly when we had the power plant Tesla coil build. I feel like I saw a lot of Saloons Did not see so many power lines. Bakery too, I'll put here. There are some crazy bakery builds, but again, I don't see it as often. It's like a little harder to work with because it has that condition. You have to have more town units than your opponent, I guess. And like that seems to be a limiter sometimes because you want to have like a few isolated things. So this one to me, like the most interesting of the town buffers. So for weapons, I'm going to put Soul Slinger in D tier. I think this one's still too bad. Like it has the scaling as you see more and more ancient stuff on both your board and the opponent's, which that can help. But I think the speed on it's currently just a little bit too low. I feel like some of these slower weapons need like Pierce or Explosive to give them better impact. Because what happens is like even if this gets up to 300 or 400 damage, that just flies into a tree or whatever, and you know it still takes the same amount of time to kill a tree for a faster tier weapon. So I don't know. I think for these slower weapons, we need to really look at making sure they have a way to interact across multiple units to make sure they're good. Electro Catalyst. This one is the one that like activates Tinker stuff. You know, as Tinker things go off, it activates everything. They all go at once, and then there's a brief pause for a stun, and then it starts ticking up again. I've definitely seen some like instant OTK builds with this, but I feel like I don't see them as much lately. I feel like some people are tinkering with that in the Tesla coil meta there too, but it was just worse than like power plant normal stuff with like mechanic. So I think for now this is maybe C. I could even maybe argue D. I just don't really see this a lot right now. I think that's it. Weather Machine. This is one of our weapons. It's like really bad a lot of the times, but when it does work, it's actually kind of insane. I think it's really good at clearing up a lot of little junk because you can hit like 20 targets at once. This one you have to have Tinker and magic units to scale it up, but when you do hit that, it's kind of crazy because it can clear out like a lot of little trees and junk and, you know, crystals and stuff, and then you know that leaves your other weapons for the big target. So I'm actually kind of tempted to put this in C because I think there are moments where this one can shine. It's just bad early and then sometimes really powerful late. It's like early it's F, late it can be like an A. So I'm just going to kind of split the middle. Pillar, I think Pillar's still pretty good. You know, Pillar scales a lot, has a lot of HP if you have a defense stuff next to it. So can still be a big body. It does take up a lot of space. Has some interesting applications like sticks as well for magic builds, which I see here. Forest Spirit, I'm gonna give a D. I think this one's just really hard to work with. I've seen some people do it, but you have to really commit to it. It requires health to attack well, which you can do some crazy stuff like lifesteal and just go for a crazy health build, but it demands a lot more of you than most other weapons. So I'm gonna give it a D. I think sticks as well. I've seen some people playing a lot more with this week. I think there are some cool builds with it, but again, it's one that demands a lot of synergies. And not something you can really buy early. You kind of have to maybe lean into it at the right times because it's really expensive and it's a big tempo loss when you do it. And if you don't have enough magic, it takes forever to pay off. Mill, I don't know. I like Mill. I think it's sleeper good, right? It's just like kind of a 2-for-1. A little bit of a stun on the opponent and, you know, just accelerating your town stuff. So it's a good like filler town unit when you don't have a lot else going on. Crossbow, I'm actually going to give B. I probably would have put this in C even like yesterday or the day before, but I've seen a few builds popping up in Discord of people finding a lot of success with Crossbow. The pierce damage is nice. You get a lot of really fast units around it because it demands everything that triggers adjacent to it. It ticks up to 20. When it gets to 20, it fires. You get a lot of fast units. Can be pretty cool. Magic Portal, I'm actually going to give A. I think this is honestly pretty good. It's a lot worse. It was S tier for a minute there, but we nerfed it where it's only taking 2 things, destroying them permanently and upgrading them. But even 2 things can be really nice. If you have a little like generator of like little trees or little crystals or whatever, you can chain those trees into like tier 5 stuff before too long. And although it is again a big tempo sacrifice, the payoffs can be really nice. Sometimes you just get like a lot, like if you have a production unit that just gives you like a random, you know, if you have a warehouse or whatever, giving you like a tier 3 or a tier 4 unit, like having this around, it just instantly becomes an awesome weapon or tier 5 thing. It's a way to cheat into extra weapons, find high powered stuff. I think it's still pretty good. I think it's, I could maybe argue B, but I'm going to go ahead and give it the A. Mecha Dragon feels like a weird one to rate because it's not really the unit you buy. I mean, I'm not going to use this one because it's not really the unit. Spellbound Rocket, I think, is still an A, actually. This clears out a lot of stuff very effectively. This clears out a lot of little junk and town units and defense and can snipe some key targets as well. So this can be pretty impactful. I feel like sometimes this blows me up by surprise and I'm like, man, what happened? That explosive damage and the targeting of it and the high damage output all add up to some really disruptive plays. Graveyard, I would give maybe a C. I mean, honestly, I would give this a D, but I've seen some people finding some builds with this that worked this week. So again, if this were purely me, I'd go here, but for keeping an eye out on what other people are doing. There's people doing some speed manipulations on Graveyard, resurrecting a lot of stuff. So there you go. Cthulhu's, dude. I don't know what this is actually. I have no idea what this is called. I call it Cthulhu's Tentacle. I honestly have no idea. Cthulhu's Tentacle? I don't know what we call it. Cthulhu is from World of Warcraft. We definitely don't call it that. Purple Eyeball guy, I think, is a C. He's one of those weapons where I'm never like that excited to see it, but you know, he's fine. Like, I can take him and I'm okay with it. Like, he's just a fine baseline weapon, better than, for instance, the Soul Slinger. I will say, I saw an idea floated of having this one scales when enemy units die. I do think it would be cool if it scaled when allied units died as well. I think that would be a cool addition to this, because that's often something you're trying to do in Ancient anyways, like destroy your own stuff. This guy, I'm going to give an F. This is like a tech unit that's supposed to slow down cooldowns. I never see anyone buy this. I never see anyone use this. I think it needs to be more impactful or cheaper or something for us to use it. Mini Black Hole, I'm going to give B, because this is just being used right now as a combo with Materia, Contrarium, and Voodoo Doll to give the Voodoo Doll a ton of health, because this has 1,000 health. So you just destroy it and then give the health to Voodoo Doll, and then Voodoo Doll is insane and it has health. Probably one of our best, like, you know, combos in the game right now. So for that reason alone, I think it's really hard to use otherwise for like its sort of intended purposes, but for its health total, it's pretty nuts. We might have to cut its health total for that very reason. I don't know if that's something we want. That's not really an interaction that, you know, was thought around, which, you know, not every interaction is something we want to have planned necessarily. We don't want to design stuff for you. Like, finding cool little interactions and happy accidents is actually great. I think that's really cool when the system supports that. But sometimes if they're that accidental, you know, they can be a little overpowered. So maybe. Industrialist, I will give it a C. I think it's a fine town unit. Weapon scaling can be really important on some, you know, faster trigger weapons. This is never something you like build around, but I think it's a solid town. Botanist, sort of the same story. You know, specific to nature, you do care a lot about health buffs. I think the cooldown's a little slow for this one on average, and I feel like people have been doing more broken things with other stuff, like, you know, like Glowberries had a little broken moment. Even from like health gain standpoints, like crystals can do more, and this is not really the best way to gain health on most things, but it's still fine. It's still fine. Landmines, I'm actually going to give A. I think people sleep on landmine. Now, it's interesting because actually buying it doesn't usually feel that great, although again, I think people sleep on it. So, you know, it's really good off the minefield or whatever this is called. Buying it itself, like if you're talking about purely buying it, maybe it's a B. If you're talking about using it, I think it's an A, because again, it's a great interaction with Materia Contrarium to buff a weapon, particularly like Tesla Coil. So I'm going to go ahead and give it the nod an A, because I do think people should be buying it more. Blacksmith, seen some pretty cool blacksmith stuff with stuff that wants to gain health. So, you know, like this guy can be cool and Beekeeper can be cool. So I'm going to give Blacksmith a B. I think that's pretty good. Fatigue guy here. Weapons deal extra damage and fatigue. I think this is pretty bad. Maybe even F. I just don't think people need this, because if you're going for fatigue, you're usually not worried about your weapons dealing that much damage. You're more worried about staying alive usually, right? Like, it's more about defense and health gain than it is weapons. So it's almost aligned strangely. I'm not saying it's poorly designed for that reason, just a little strange. Shrub, I actually like a lot. I think Shrub is B. Just again, actually buying it, maybe it doesn't feel as good as when it comes off Arborist, but I think still pretty solid. Tree, I think, is A. Tree might even be S. I think buying 2 trees is just really good. They fill out your board so quickly. They can be nice to swap out into like a transmute and get some mana back. They're actually pretty cool off the magic portal. I'm gonna go A for that right now though. Power plant, new power plant is probably a C for me. Old power plant was S. New power plant's probably a C, a little bit harder to use. You got to have a lot of town units to support it, so a little tougher there. Whichever mine this is, the Sonic mine maybe. I forget the names on these. There's 2 mines. Maybe it's EMP or something. Yeah, definitely buying this is like D at best. I don't think you usually ever buy this. Again, sometimes okay off the field, but not that good. Same for this mine, actually, while we're looking at it. Another one that's really hard to use. It can, if you get enough of these, like clear out a lot of little stuff. If you get, you know, 2 of these and it chains to kill the other mines on board, because that's one way to use this, is like once this one, 2 of these die, they deal enough damage to kill all the other mines, and you can create this like little chain reaction where everything blows up at once. That can be a little satisfying chain reaction, but again, buying it itself is tough. I don't really like using it that way. Well is fine. I don't feel like I usually want a well to buff my stuff. Micro Librarium kind of goes in this like fine town units slot to me, where it's cool, but the way that it splits its health is often less beneficial than if you like stack a lot of health into one thing. So I'm gonna say C, maybe even D to be honest, but I kind of like it. Corrupt Shaman I'm gonna give a B, because this one actually has really fast triggers, which can be good for stuff like crossbow. There's also some health manipulations here that can really matter for stuff like Rafflesia. So I think that one's actually pretty good. Ritualist, honestly, I'm gonna be kind of a jerk and give it an F. Maybe D is fine, because it does have a fairly fast cooldown for the same thing, like crossbows, that sort of stuff. It's fine. I just think that this removes 1 damage from enemy weapons on its cooldown. I don't really think that's good enough. I don't think that's impactful enough, because like even if you got 5 of these cooking, like man, the way weapons scale is so much faster, which you wouldn't want one town unit to keep up with an entire engine scaling weapons. But it might need to make a bigger dent than just 1 damage per hit. So I think we could almost make this 2 damage and be fine. Post Office, I think people probably sleep on Post Office a little bit, man. It's just like a lot of free little buffs. Like the buffs don't always help. Some of them are like starter combat, but a lot of little defense buffs I think can actually add up. I think people sleep on this one a lot. It also just looks cool now, so I like it. Same for Velmir's Wizard Tower here. I think this one's pretty good too. Really good with Dynamite Turret. I think filling these out with Dynamite Turret's really powerful. Not as good on explosive stuff like Spellbound Rocket necessarily, but I think still has some utility. Stone, I mean, Health Stone's pretty cool actually. It can be great on Voodoo Doll, can be great on Rafflesia, any defense units. I actually think I kind of like buying Health Stone a lot, to be honest. Bathhouse to me is an F. Another fatigue manipulation unit that's like, it speeds up your town units in fatigue, but it's so big and awkward to position around, and it's like, I don't know. I think there's better ways to do town speed manipulations. Altering Stone is probably C. Is that what it's called? Altering Stone? I think so. Maybe a B. I've seen some cool builds of this lately, honestly. It's a good damage scaler. It just takes a lot of support. I'd say maybe C. It's kind of more niche, I guess. This little Sunrise Flower is another one that's fine. I don't think people pay too much attention to it, but I think it's probably better than they think. Can be some pretty big health gains on things that are already big. It's workable with Supercharger. Yeah, I think I could put that in the C spot. Oh boy, Mechanic. I mean, Mechanic again used to would have been S tier, but since the nerf to Power Plant, I don't know, man. It's definitely fallen a lot. I don't even really think it's B tier anymore. It's still pretty strong, I guess, with Laser Pointer. Firing off laser pointers can be really good. Maybe I'd still push this to B, but it's right on the border for me between C and B, so I don't know. Necromancer's Hut's probably a C. I think this is another one people sleep on a little bit, but because it's kind of expensive right now. I think it's tier 3 right now. It's better when it was cheaper, but it still has play, because if you have like a lot of bamboo or a bunch of trees that you're generating, this can actually be a pretty significant weapon buff really fast. And since it's not like timer based, it doesn't have a cooldown, it can actually go pretty hard pretty quick and scale up your weapons fast. So I think people sleep on that a little bit. Tree here, Sequoia, is probably one of the defense items I like to pick the least. You know, I don't love it. It's fine. It's protective. Buffer Bot, you know, again, not my favorite defense because it doesn't have a lot of health, but it can be annoying and disruptive. I think C is fine for that. Community Cauldron, this had some broken moments, but now that it's just giving like health buffs to magic, it's and transforming to magic, maybe has some play with sticks as well, but I think kind of weak right now. Mana Jar is good. I think there's ways to manipulate this with like magic portals and like, you know, other things that destroy it that can be beneficial. And then sometimes it's just kind of a free reroll, which is good. Rusty Sentry, people buy this less than they should probably. This can just win you an early round, which 1 trophy early is worth the same as 1 trophy late, you know? It's really valuable. Like, it does potentially put you behind a little, but often it's like you'd buy like a tier 2 town unit anyway instead of this. You know what I mean? I think people should probably take this more than they do. So I'm going to give that a C. Lumberjack. I don't know. Lumberjack, I'm probably going to put in D. I don't think it's terrible, but I think it's just better ways to scale weapons. This one requires the nature support. You got to have a lot of unique nature. Not always my favorite. Bluestone's pretty good. Maybe even A, but I don't know if I like it better than green crystal necessarily. I think that's a good spot for it in B. Again, we're kind of talking about when you buy it as opposed to when it comes off the crystal mine, right? Which, when it comes off crystal mine, I love it. Like A, easy. But when you're actually buying it, maybe B, you know. These could arguably even be C. Arborist, I like a lot, actually. I think people sleep on this one, too. It's really good to just get a lot of trees throughout the run, you know. Getting like 16 trees or shrubs off this, if you get it early, is nuts. You know, even 14, 15 throughout a run can be really nice. The trees add up, so I actually like Arborist quite a bit. Fortune Teller, another one of these town units. It's like fine, probably, but not super compelling. You know, it can be a good, like, I'm looking at all this stuff in the context of sticks as well a little bit. I'm thinking this, by the way, feels a bit better than some of these other ones. Like, I've seen some builds utilizing this well for like actual big damage on weapons. I think I'm gonna move the altering stone up. Just looking contextually, like, I think I like it better. It's very niche. It's not something you see often. Sometimes it feels worse because it's like I don't have support for it. So, you know, some of these just like always kind of work. So it's like this kind of always works. This kind, you know, this always kind of works. This does not always kind of work, but when it does work, it's a way more targeted and way more powerful sort of thing. So I think I'm gonna focus it there into B. Dynamo, I mean, honestly, this was better before the Tesla coil change. Now I don't really love it so much. I think just 1 damage per hit is really not that much. It's kind of fine and cheap to grab, but not that much. Watchtower, I don't know, man. Watchtower, the fact that it splits its buffs across targets, like it can potentially be a total change of a lot of speed. But I think, you know, a little bit of speed across 20 things is often worse than a lot of speed across 2 or 3 things. So I think I'm going to put Watchtower a little low. Bamboo for me is A tier. One of my favorite defense units. Tons of interactions, really annoying to push through. Probably too cheap for what it is. This is an A tier unit, maybe even honestly S tier. I love Bamboo. Scola, I think this is called, is, yeah, C tier. It's hard to work with, but does have some, if you get a few of these, you can actually do some cool builds. Maybe D tier, to be honest, but maybe D tier, actually. I don't know. I'm looking at some of these. I feel like I see less people using this, although I do think it's powerful. Redstone, particularly when buying, I don't know, like 3 damage just doesn't go very far. I think Redstone's down here, unfortunately. Minefield for me is probably A tier lately. I think this is another unit people don't buy enough. It's a lot of value, and it's actually pretty impactful on board, too. Getting a few good mines, a few of these landmines, homing, whatever they're called, can go really good, can make a big impact. And there's ways to, like, resurrect and play with other cards, too, other units, too, so pretty nice. Obelisk, yeah, Obelisk is fine. It can actually do some big damage sometimes. I'm thinking about, like, is it here on B? You can have, like, you know, a lot of leftover stuff, your little production units, just throw them at the opponent or whatever, get some free damage out of it. It's one of those where I don't feel like I'm ever going out of my way to buy it, but when I do, I'm not that mad about it. Maybe that's a C, but maybe that's a B, dude. I don't know. Compared to some of these, I do think it just fills in better. Maybe. Tether 2000, I used to like a lot better. I think it's still pretty okay. I think without like Tesla coil specifically needing it as much though these days, it's probably worse. Maybe you still go B, but I feel like I do see this a lot less and try for it a lot less. I feel like I have better ways to scale things than this these days. I don't know. It feels weird putting that at below altering stone though. Maybe it is B. Maybe it is still B. Casino, I think people probably underutilize this because they don't know that it counts the entire column below and above it. But that is also just sometimes a really big commitment and weird from a positioning standpoint. So, yeah, I think worse than the other like town speed scalers for me. I think probably low C. I don't know if I'm gonna order these per tier or not. By the way, that's just like too much work. I think I'm just gonna. These are not in order per tier. Certainly not yet. You know, I'm too lazy to figure this out. But Bamboo would be number 1 if I did. But I'm not gonna do that. Rafflesia is probably. Well, I don't know. It was S tier, but now I think it might just be B tier. I don't see this getting utilized quite as scarily these days. I don't think it's quite A tier. A little bit harder to get the crazy health scaling out of it. Same thing for glowberries. Like this used to be nuts, but due to some of our changes, like this used to would have been S tier for sure. By the way, nothing is currently S tier. I don't know what's gonna be S tier. Looking at what's left, maybe supercharger, maybe materia. Yeah, glowberries, I mean, do people even run glowberries right now? I just feel like I'm not ever committing much to the glowberries stuff, so I'm not seeing it in my games. I'm like looking now at people's builds, like do I see any glowberries? There's a few glowberries there, yeah. Few glowberries. Yeah, I see enough glow berries to say that B is probably fine for that. Yeah. Okay, feel okay about that. Mecha Egg, probably B. This one's weird because it's like, you know, sometimes it's not worth buying at all if you're just losing a lot. But if you're in a good spot, I think it's usually worth it. That Mecha Dragon can be pretty nice. The little lifesteal guy here, pretty good, I think, actually. We've seen a few people going ham with like start of combat stuff and like making crazy assimilators and everything. And this can be a big part of helping those stay survivable and doing a lot of work. So I'm going to say A for that. Although I feel like I don't ever use it that well. Stone Wall, honestly, just good, honest defense unit. I don't love it as much as Bamboo, but like good and honest and just good high health totals, which is great for other stuff like this and Warden's Flame. So pretty good. Refractor, I'm going to put in D. There has been moments where Refractor was broken, but I feel like I don't see those as much anymore. We nerfed a few of those broken interactions, so probably D. I don't think it's quite an F tier for me, though. Beekeeper, probably B again. There's been some crazy stuff with this that's possible. I've got a few other of those kinds of cards here. Again, used to would have been really strong from time to time. We had some broken fatigue builds, but I think B is okay. The Mana Machina, I think it's called. I actually like this. I think if you get this early, I think you should buy it. It does pay back a lot. Maybe if you're not good, maybe not, because you know you die too fast or whatever, but otherwise okay. Magnus's weapon here is probably C for me. Another one where I don't mind buying it, but I don't like build around it or love it. Kind of in that Cthulhu tier. Town Center, yeah. You know, as far as like playing off of town stuff, I just feel like it's hard to make room and make space and really fit this in. Again, it feels like it's kind of too random, not targeted enough to be super, super compelling. Spell Factory, I actually don't love Spell Factory. I feel like one enchantment per turn's not a quick enough payoff. Sometimes the enchantments don't feel like they go that far for me, so I'm going to put that there. Research Factory, it's kind of the same arguments, right? But this can do a lot. I think it's still going to go in D for me, though. Dynamite Turret is an A tier unit, maybe S tier. It's a really good weapon. You can support it really nicely with this. Speed buffs on it are crazy. It scales against defense. I might actually still put this in S. I feel like it's not quite as good as it used to be. We nerfed it a bit, but still pretty insane. You can do some pop-offs with this. I don't know. I would almost say high A. I feel like it's maybe not as good as like Assimilator and stuff. Crystal Mine, I don't like it as much actually as Arborist. Without Crystal Core being as crazy broken as it once was, I think this is probably more like C tier. Mushroom I like pretty well. It's just a general defense. Can add up to a lot of health. Good synergies with a few different things. So that's nice. The Chameleontis weapon, I think I like this one a little bit better than the Tentacle as a general use weapon. Not as good to build around as like Crossbow necessarily, though. And certainly not Dynamite Turret or Spellbound. So maybe low B, just because it's kind of consistent. Jeffrey, like, I don't hate Jeffrey. I've seen some people do some cool Jeffrey stuff. Another one that's like small and fast, which can be good for stuff like Crossbow. So that's kind of nice. Force Field, I actually like, again, a pretty great defense unit, I think. I like that you can put it in the back and just gain a lot of extra health on it. That can feel like good scaling. Sometimes the fact that it's a tinker matters too for stuff like Weather Machine always surprises me. Jumpstarter has had some broken moments until we nerfed it recently. It was like crazy with Supercharger. I think it's still okay. There's still some big stuff you could use it on that's impactful. You know, big weapon, even a Spellbound Rocket can be worth it to get one extra. Setting the health can matter for enchantments. It's not great anymore, but it's still pretty good. Piranha is probably F for me right now. I think this is just in a really weird spot. I think it's our worst weapon, maybe. Harder to use than Forest Spirit. There has been some times before you guys even played this was like literally broken, but not anymore. Laser Pointer is probably A tier for me again too. Pretty good weapon. We see some build arounds with it. Can pump out a ton of damage when you support it well with like Tinker manipulation, speed manipulation. The Pierce can go a long way. I like Laser Pointer. Cannon, actually I think another fine solid general use weapon, so C looks okay. Crystal Core these days I'd probably put in C. I think it's hard to find like both of these pieces and do it together. When you get all of this and you really commit to it, it's pretty cool. And you can force Crystal Core with a tier 4 nature, but it's just hard to get it all to line up. Like you almost have to get one or two of these first to feel good about it. So Materia Contrarium is tier S. This is really good right now. Probably one of our best units in the game. You can use it with these mines to buff weapons like crazy by destroying weapons and giving 10% of their damage to the weapons, which these have 350 damage. That's 35 damage per mine. 3 mines, you can buff a weapon by a ton right off the bat. Also really good with Voodoo Doll right now by killing, like we talked about, big stuff to give it a ton of health. The Voodoo Doll deletes your opponent's weapons. Supercharger, also S tier. Great enabler, starter combat effects. A lot of powerful stuff there. Assimilators, pillars, brick by bricks, lifesteal guys. A lot of plays on this that are really, really good. All the S tiers hitting at once. This guy's pretty good, I think. Good defensive weapon, or good defensive wall. Again, very situational because you have to suck early to get it. You got to get down below 8 hit points to get it. But once you do, it's usually a pretty nice spike. 1,000 health too can be a lot to just hold you, keep you alive basically. Or again, enablers for even stuff like materia can chip in. Stone Gorgon, I would say I've had some pretty good Stone Gorgon builds actually, like full on stun builds. I think that's an A. It's not good like independently early necessarily, but if you lean into a stun build with like Cursed Bell and Stone Gorgons, I think it's actually a pretty good weapon. Prismatic Mirror. Yeah, I think again, these aren't in order. I think probably B is fine for me. Another good, just like general defense. In some ways, I think I kind of like these almost better than the inverter, but not really yet. No. Eternal Bonfire right now, I think, is S tier. This is really good. This is probably our best cooldown speed manipulator right now. This can get stuff going really, really fast, particularly multiples of these, which can be its own build around. I see a lot of successful Eternal Bonfires in people's builds, so definitely feels like S tier. Assimilator might be our S tier weapon right now because it's really good again with Supercharger and Bonfire. Also kind of a decent general use weapon, even if you're not supporting it a ton, because it has a pretty fast speed. Probably my S tier weapon. Yeah, I think that's fair right now. Thanatos' altar, I think actually has some really cool applications with like, bamboos, resurrecting stuff's all pretty good sometimes. So I'm going to go A tier on that. Sun altar, I think it's okay. Might be my least favorite of the weapons in C tier, but I think I do like it better than like Forest Spirit. So probably putting it here. Better than Soul Slinger, yeah. Yeah, I think that's fine. Warden's Flame, I'll go B. I think it has some pretty high impact, but it is another one that demands a lot of support. Sometimes awkward early, or just doesn't work for most builds. I think B is a good place to put a unit like that. Haunted Clock Tower, it has implications in fatigue style builds, really defensive builds. I think it's probably better than people think, so I'm gonna say C on that. New Tesla Coil, probably still B. I think it got a little better early, and it still can be pretty impactful late. You get the damage up on it high, it's still good even when it's splitting its damage. So I'm gonna say B for Tesla Coil. This guy is really hard to use, honestly. You gotta have a lot of town to make this thing good, and it takes up 3 spots, so it pushes your weapons off the back wall sometimes, which can actually be a little bit awkward. So I'm gonna say D for that, maybe even F, to be honest. It's really hard to use. Maybe that's an F, yeah. Voodoo Doll is currently S tier for sure, with Materia Contrarium spiking up the health on this. It can wipe out your opponent's entire board of weapons right away by itself. I think this probably needs to get nerfed. I think it's too good right now. Cursed Bell for me, I think is actually really good. I'm gonna go A tier on this. Some stun builds work nicely. Again, stuff like Bamboo works really well with this to just lock out your opponent's units, stop their scaling early. Brick by brick, maybe A tier, just because again, Supercharger is so powerful. A lot of the starter combat stuff is just really good because of Supercharger. So I'll probably go that is a really nice defense. Toy Shop, I don't know, I think it kind of sucks on its own, but it is sometimes good as a like Tinker enabler and cooldown enabler. I think I'm still gonna go C on it though. It's often hard to find a moment for that. Homing missiles feels like a D to me. Like, yeah, there's a lot of town stuff to blow up, but most boards don't care about it that much. It's really bad early. I think that's a D. Yeah, this guy, the time diluter, I think probably a D. It's really hard to run this. I don't think it's quite F for me though. Warehouse, this is called Geronimo's Warehouse, right? I actually think this is S tier. I think it's crazy good. Like, obviously bad late, but if you hit this early, it generates so much stuff and so much value and can generate other production units. I think it's actually crazy if you get this early. I think it could totally change your run. I think it's S tier. Myria's is probably a C right now. I think there could be some broken stuff with this at some point if people build around it right, but it's really hard to support, really long cooldown by default. Synthetic Leecher, I've seen people do things with this, but it's really hard to make work well. It's risky as well. Sometimes it can really backfire. So I'm going to say C tier for that. Replicator is probably still A tier for me. I think this still has some play right now. You can get some really cool boards out of it. It is low tempo and risky sometimes, but you get the right set of weapons or cool units and it can make plays. Root of Life is probably in B. I still see some roots here and there. Not as many these days, to be honest, though. I don't know, maybe roots C right now, but maybe high C sort of thing. Again, I'm not really organizing these, but just so I feel better about it. Maybe C at the moment. And then our final unit is the I don't know what's this guy called. I forget it. Proliferator. Boy, I almost want to put it in S. I think it's really, like, getting a lot of trees is really, really strong. It has cool resurrection synergies. It might be S, honestly, but I'm probably going to go high A on it. I don't think it's quite S for me, but it's really right there. I think it's one of our best units right now. And yeah, that's it, man. Pretty nice bell curve here. I wasn't even really trying, but it's sort of perfect. 6 things in S, 5 things in F. D tier units, like, look dang near almost exactly matched. And then, you know, B and C are the peaks. B seems to be the most common. Yeah, nice little bell curve. I don't know if this is just, you know, it's the way things go, but yeah, I think, again, these are not in order per tier. That's just, it'd take me 20 years to do that, but I feel okay about this. I'm kind of curious now, like, what other people's tier lists look like. I guess we can pull some up and see, like, here's one. Okay. And do a comparison. Like, we can compare this one to mine. They have a lot more stuff in S tier. Similar though, I mean, I can see the black hole being an S tier. I mean, if you're arguing specifically its interaction with voodoo, yeah, that makes sense to me. A lot of that's my just A tier stuff, so very, very, very sensible. They have Chameleontis in A little higher than me, yeah, and Cthulhu too, yeah. Most of the I think they just kind of gave weapons a bias. I mean, yes, it's true that I would, like, buy a weapon over, like, you know, a random town unit, but I don't want to bias weapons that much. I kind of, you know, weapons within their own context, I guess. Yeah, nothing here. I think you gotta have materia at the top right now, but yeah, pretty similarly. Like, what's their bottom? Rusty Sentry, no way. Electro Catalyst, I can see that. Bathhouse, yeah, it's actually pretty similar, yeah. Aldering Stone, I think, needs a much bigger nod from them. There's some cool builds with that, but yeah. By the way, this is from Rhyme in Discord. What about Not Healer? Let's see what this one is. Synthetic Leecher in S tier. That's crazy to me. Like, I've seen people do things with it. I think S is really pushing it. Voodoo and Materia makes a lot of sense to me, though. Tesla's still in A. That's cool. Supercharger in A, yeah. I mean, nothing looking too. Sun Altar in A is a little of a standout to me. What about the bottom tier? Yeah, Replicator still in a bottom tier? Oh, I don't think so, dude. I still have some fun with Replicator, I feel like. Did we change Replicator again and I forgot? Or is it still what I think it is? Maybe it got changed and I forgot. I mean, I know we changed it to being on your board instead of inventory. And now it uses the mana cost instead of being 3, but I still think it's kind of cool. Nothing too out of sorts on this one though. That looks pretty good to me. Here's another one. Yeah, good looking A tier. Can't argue with any of that in S. I mean, that looks fine. D tier got blown up. This is a slightly different tier maker. It looks like they don't have an F, but yeah, I don't think any of these are too. Yeah, I mean, similar spaces for most units. Most things are pretty much in the same range, right? Here's Lexicon. Lexicon was the first person to make the tier maker. Let's see. Yeah, again, similar. Pretty similar, yeah. I think there's a pretty clear hierarchy of, a few standouts here and there, and a few things moving 1 or 2 spots max, but I think very, very similar ideas for most players. That's cool, actually. I think that's good news. And by the way, not every unit can be great. Like, just by default, not every unit can be the best unit. I think this is a fairly healthy spread. There's a few things I think maybe just don't have moments to shine. I want to make sure everything has a moment to shine, right? Like, you don't want to have a unit that you just never take because it's just never good. You want to have things that are, sometimes good. Sometimes there's like a moment that pops up, a scenario, a board where you're like, oh, that's perfect for me right now. Like, normally I don't like this, but it's perfect. As long as every unit gets that, even if it's normally a D, but it has a moment, I'm okay with that. I think that's fine. So yeah, man, that was really fun. really cool little exercise here. So I guess now I will still do a full run of SkyShard and see which of these S and A tier units can take me to victory. Alrighty, folks, so let's go ahead and kick off this run. I think tier 4 weapon shop is usually the way to go. Didn't I do kind of a stun build last time? I'd like to mix it up a little bit if I can. I mean, to some extent, you can't really force, too much of anything, but yeah, we had a pretty stunny build last time. Yeah, 3 stone gorgons. Let's go for a big laser pointer then. Production shop, I think early is great because I think it's a guaranteed Geronimo's, and Geronimo's is just crazy strong when you snowball off of it early. This, I think, will win because this just doesn't have a whole lot of damage yet. 38's kind of more than I thought, though. It does attack fast. It was close. 48 health. Jeez. Oh, worst opener, honestly. I'm going to go for the 4 big shop, though. This has some good hits. Eternal Bonfire is, I think, as you guys already saw, probably the best weapon in the game right now. Or not weapon. One of the best units in the game right now. Magnus. Yeah, I like Magnus a bit better than Sun Altar personally, just because I think attack speed's so powerful right now. Put this up. This is our defense unit right now. Honestly, not bad. 140 health is not nothing. Like, that's really important sometimes. I think we're gonna be not fine. We got murdered. Really? Guess we just had no. I guess we took too much damage off that that voodoo dude. Like, we got brutally murdered. It's way worse than I expected. What happened? 4 magic. Let's go 1 nature just to get something to cycle. Basically taking a roll. Structure shop 5 seems pretty good. Ooh, I think Proliferator's really good right now. Honestly, Portal, though, is pretty great with Geronimo's. We might be able to just snowball into some powerful stuff off Portal. Like, right now, it's nothing insane. We're already getting a tier 3, potentially, or maybe even 2 tier 3s if we want. But I like Arborist. Let's keep the Arborist, actually. It's pretty nice. I wonder if Portal could have more health to make it a good, like, just like a little bit of a defense almost, as well as a, value play. You don't want it to be too valuable, obviously, but... Right now we're getting murdered because we don't have enough defensive utility. This we can roll again. This actually I think we can roll again as well. Here we got a tree. We finally got a little shield. Maybe magic 5 for another eternal bonfire? No way. Nope, nope, nope. Warden's Flame, probably not the right thing for us to commit to right now, nor is Pillar. Like, we just don't have what we need for that. Starter production? I don't want Spell Factory, but if I got Arborist or I don't think we can get Geronimo's. No, it's 4. I get Arborist or Spell Factory. Spell Factory I just don't want. I think that's just not my target right now. So let's dodge that. Neither of these are explosive for the Velmir, so we probably just take a Jeff House here. I think that's okay. We'll save that roll for later since we're riding the portal right now. I do want to find a transmute to sell that portal off eventually. 3 weapons for the opponent already. Brutal. Did murder that tree pretty fast, though. Are we going to be okay? We're getting really quick triggers here. 0.76, nice. Yeah, good stuff. That was important. We can't just do this forever. Oh, hey, a Sun Altar. I think we might keep that. An extra weapon's a really good roll. Latching spore off those is fine. We could just put in a tree, I guess, over here on the portal for this roll, or maybe see what we find here. Novus 4 has some hits I don't hate. Big Ancient has some good stuff too now, though. Oh my gosh. Curse Bell or the Crossbow? Crossbow, we just don't have enough small stuff, right? Gosh, you could, though. You could get these going really fast and use that to trigger the crossbow. Oh my god, wait a minute, dude. Wait a minute. This is intriguing now. This is really intriguing now. Tinker Shop. I might just want to take some defense or even more stuff for the crossbow. But I really specifically need defense to keep all of this alive for a minute, you know? Oh my goodness, look at this. Look at this here. Maybe goes here now. I don't know. That's not a perfect. In any case, it's not perfect. I was looking for more defensive units. Okay, Sequoia is defense. I'll take it, honestly. Just anything right now to stall out the opponent and give this stuff time to snowball up seems valuable. Shrub over Botanist? Yeah, Botanist might not work. Okay, Portal's still rolling me up a little as well. This is a fun little thing we got going here, dude. I could use maybe another bonfire though still. Is this ticking up fast enough? Not yet, but when it hits, it's gonna hit big, you know? Got a couple hits off. That might be all it really needed. I don't know though. This looks too close. No. Ooh. We held on, dude. The life steal here might have actually made the difference. How much did crossbow do? 700. I mean, not a crazy amount, but enough to contribute, obviously. big time contribution. Oh, Cursed Bell's great for all this little junk. Yeah, that's also good at stalling for the the crossbow, like we said. We can throw in this town center here. I don't think I want to sell yet, but I do want to grab some big defense. I don't think I need the biggest defense. I think force field's probably good for now. Another defense, I would like bamboo or stone wall. That's good. And here, a corrupt shaman. Emerald sometimes on these weapons can be really good to shut down voodoo totem stuff, but I don't know if I'm ever going to give them enough health for this to really be that impactful. At the very least for now, maybe we put it up here just to get more upside here. I guess we'll see. I don't know. Oh my god, dude, they got this looks like a video game. You're flying through the rings, you know, like a little challenge course you gotta hit. Oh boy. Oh my god, those results, dude. Actually nuts results, dude. Actually insane portal rolls, dude. We are portal high rolling like crazy. That honestly could be a good place to stop on the portal, but I think we've got enough tempo that we maybe just don't really care that much. I really want laser pointer to get the most buffs. Was there a best way to do this? I'm just trying to think, like maybe here. This is getting 2 bonfires. The other 2 are getting, but I also can get even more like this, right? So it's another hit on this. Like it's got a 3rd weapon for more bonfire rolls, right? I think that's just better, isn't it? Magic 5, another bonfire? It's so unlikely to get another bonfire. Oh my good god, dude. No way. No way. This is actually cheating. We're actually cheating. So now you do like this, right? I guess you can even do... Is there any way to get... Oh, no, these have... Yeah, no, these have a shape of 3. Would I rather hit Magnus twice than Chameleontis twice? Probably, yeah, I think so. What about this guy, though, now? I only want that here, hitting these. Although, Magnus is getting hit twice, so maybe you want it here. Oh, but you gotta have crossbow here, so like this. I mean, yeah, this is probably the best hits. We did lose the crystal on laser pointer, but that's okay, maybe. This is actually so gross, I can't even begin to describe how gross it is. I don't even think we want the sun altar in there, right? He's our worst weapon, just a weird shape right now. Some extra weapons for this crossbow. An enchantment will take some health. We probably just give that to one of these. Okie dokie. We're happy. We're happy. We're happy. There is no chance we lose this fight, right? Like 0 chance. I didn't even give the portal a second target, but we just don't need it. This is going to be insane. 0.42, 1, and 0.73. And how many times did the crossbow go off? Still only 700 damage compared to the laser pointer's 3,400, dude. I guess it's definitely getting like some diminishing returns there, but you know, whatever. I guess I could put a Jeff here too now, by the way. Another warehouse. Do I get to the point where I'm selling my portal now? Oh my god. Supercharger, no. Haunted Collector, mini black hole, no. Pillar, I guess, is pretty good. We just wanted stall, right? That's stall. Stone wall, same story. Let's find room for this pillar. Definitely not the best pillar positioning we've ever had right now, but we'll figure something out here. Looks okay, I think. Still leaving a little cursed bell action up there, but pretty good pillar. Shoot though, I gotta be careful that this there guy, I don't want to be touching those guys. Maybe we just do this Azurite. Maybe we, yeah. I don't know. It's like at this stage, I don't really care that much about rarity 2 stuff. It's just not that valuable to me. This is not perfect pillar positioning yet either, by the way, but it's probably okay. This is probably a bit better. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Honestly, nothing's like jumping out of you. Let's just wait. Maybe we just transmute it next turn finally. We got so much value out of it. We have a late game build now too, thanks to the laser pointer rolls. So I could, by the way, just keep only the laser pointer on these and move the other weapons out of the way, and it might be better, kind of. But I don't know. It's like I said before, like it got so fast anyway. It's one of those, like, do you value the acceleration more or do you value the total end speed more? I think, by the way, that could actually just really change depending on like how much defense you have, for instance. Ooh, we got a blue shrub. I didn't even know blues were in the game. I thought they were only pinks. I had no idea. I saw pink before. I didn't know blue was a guy. Oh, dude, another latching spore now, though. Now I really am thinking about, like, just doing only laser pointer. Bro, is that crazy? It gets so much health like this. It's really slow to get going again. That's the only issue, right? Is that, like, it's so slow to get going. But if you can hang in long enough, this is an insane amount of mana, by the way. Why won't that guy sell? If you can hang in long enough, like if your defense is strong enough to keep you, oh my god. Also glow berries. Oh, we're in on lifesteal, dude. Structure shop. Maybe just another force field. Yeah. Big shop. Thanatos' altar. Go there. Synthetic leecher. I mean, at some level, like, this would be attacking so much and dealing so much damage that you probably could leech it. Oh no, it's gonna hit the bonfires though. Oh crap, it's gonna hit the bonfires though. No, I can't do that. I'm sorry. No, I just gotta sell that later. No, mistake, misplay. Oh, I love the power lines. Very satisfying power lines from the opponent here. That's really cool. I think unfortunately they're about to get real murdered, but we're at 1.02, 0.92, 0.75, 0.55. We're about to hit 0.31 there. And that's, I was trying to click the damage and goosed it, but you know, it was a lot. Let's put it that way. It was a lot of damage. Defense again, just keep that dude alive forever and we're happy. Still really bad positioning here, by the way. I gotta focus on this a little more. Make our guy much better here. Defense again, yeah, why not? Voodoo Totem could help, but I actually kind of just value mirrors more, I think. Let's actually get this positioning right here in a minute, you know. At this point, I don't know if the Cursed Bell is really worth all that much, but maybe. Let's go here. I mean, this can still go back here behind these shrubs. Shrubs have a lot of work in them, you know. Like, I guess we can still do a Cursed Bell for now, yeah. It's fine. It goes like here, bada boom. Still not totally perfect, but looking okay. Yeah, no, this is good. Yeah, we know there's a guy in the inventory. Okay, I goosed it. You understand? I feel like this isn't getting. Oh no, that's a problem, guys. Can fatigue win this for us though? They're pretty low already. I think we're gonna be fine in fatigue. Like, these got huge, 1,000 health on these already. Yeah, fatigue's gonna own. I mean, we still technically have a crossbow and sun altar too. I don't even know what killed me there, dude. Did they have voodoo, I guess? We are ultimately pretty weak to voodoo. Let's take a look at what they had. Ah, yeah, they had voodoo with crazy health totals, dude. Look at this. Materia on all three of these. It's funny, the fortune teller, they just slotted in because they didn't have anything else. That's really funny. Voodoo with a sunrise flower. That's wild. Yeah, thankfully they just didn't have much else supporting it, so that's good news, I guess. Yeah, we can put these in. Wish I had that freaking. What does this have? Defense, structure, nature. I could make something like a black hole a nature unit if I wanted to with this, or excuse me, a defense unit. Is black hole magic? I don't even know. Black hole's magic, right? Oh, what is it? Oh, maybe it's Novus. It's probably sciencey, right? Yeah, Novus. Yeah, it's got purple in it, so I was thinking magic. Maybe keep an eye out for that, I guess. I don't know how good that really is gonna be. I want some bamboo, by the way. Oh, nice. Let's say I don't have any bamboo somehow, dude. Bamboo is so important, I think, to stalls. We definitely needed some bamboo, man. Bamboo again? Oh, we're geniuses. I guess trigger speed would be insane. Nice. Maybe Scorch as well. Maybe actually extra life on this. Yeah, maybe. That might be better. Okay. I don't really think this does anything right now. This probably can just go up here, honestly. Bushes instead of trees, I think, here for the pillar. Cursed Bell still has some good hits. Emerald seems fine there. Yeah, we just need to dodge Voodoo Dolls, really. I think Voodoo Dolls are the only thing that really beat us. No Voodoo Dolls here from the opponents. I think we probably win, although this is pretty spooky too. But I think this is going to start gaining so much life so fast that it's going to be fine, right? Like, if we even go down to where this is the last unit we have, I think it's going to... It's already at 500, 600, 700... Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Laser machine gun, dude. Yes. 0.11, that's pretty much the max speed. 0.1 is our max speed, so crazy damage. 14,000. Their Mecha Dragon did do work though, 8,000. And our crossbow, by the way, triggering off the laser pointer, also doing work. Chameleontis, frankly, not bad either at 1,400. We'll take it all, man. That was insane. Yeah, when that hits, that really hits, doesn't it? Beautiful. Hey, post office. I have nowhere for this to go. It's probably a little... no, I mean, weapons are fast, I guess. No, there's really no good spot for this, to be honest. Power line? I mean, yeah, that can go up there, actually. Hold up. Sure, we can make room for that, right? Oh, no, maybe not. Here you go, dude. Nice. Very nice. We can go here now. Nice little town. That's actually all real art and buildings right there. That little row of town houses, dude. Looks good, dude. That looks really good. Nature 4, crystal core, some good defense units. Usually choice is 6. I think you get, yeah, like mushroom ender. Another latching spore. Actually so beautiful. Production shop too late. Big shop, another tree. Maybe a buffer bot smaller, easier to get in there, right? That's pretty good. Bush, yeah, shrub is good. Okay, dude, yeah, this is still doing nothing for me. I'm probably missing some opportunity on this, but I don't know what it is. Like, Jeffrey could give health to, you know, I don't know, it's fine, I think. Okay, yeah, no, again, as long as this guy lives for a minute, like, forget it. He's gonna get so much freaking health. We could get a supercharger for these spores as well, right? There's another path we could take, but a lot of trees, but we have Pierce and just a lot of weapons too. But like our crossbow has Pierce 35% and this has Pierce 10%. So that Mecha Dragon is firing off, dude. Can we beat all these trees right now, dude? Yeah, we just turned on the lasers at the end. Took us a minute to get there, but we did turn on the lasers at the end. Wonder why it took us longer. I didn't notice that maybe our bonfires all went off. They just didn't snowball quite as fast. I did still have the enchantment. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. We got there is the important thing. This is bad for us. We don't want that. Bad, bad, bad. Obelisk? Maybe Sunrise Flower? Defense units gain 10%. Sure. Maybe here. Big shop? Supercharger? No. Proliferator's pretty good and annoying now. That's nice. We'll take that. Just literally stuffing in everything I can here. Well, research facility matters much on anything, but it's just kind of free health to toss in, right? 180 health's not nothing. This hurts us though. We can't do that. All right, still feeling good. Still have some stuff we could sell if I find a good transmute. Okay, a lot of health on these in particular. A lot of trees incoming because of the black hole proliferator. Big laser pointer for them as well, but not nearly as much speed as us. So I think this big laser pointer is again gonna solo. No spellbound rockets to worry about. These are taking damage, but not dying. Yeah, where the laser's on, dude. Yeah, max speed. We're done. Yeah, it's over. Trees do not slow us down, dude. 95 hits on the pointer, 14k damage. Crossbow triggering from it as well. This is a cool little build for sure, man. This is a really cool little build. And I'm just generating so much value, you know. I didn't mean to put that in, but it got there. Again, just like free. This actually could be kind of good. It can hit the pointer still, right? Right now, if I made the pointer A town unit would be cool, but it has to be a weapon for the latching spores, which I'm certain we want it to be a weapon, so I don't think that's something we change. Tinker Shop, can I get Supercharger here? Nope. Maybe I can, but I didn't. Dude, tight space right now, by the way. I don't want anything else there. Tight spaces, man. We don't need that right now. Okay. 14 out of 16, by the way. I guess as long as we win one more fight, we can't. Oh boy, this is bad news. Voodoo Totem's gonna eat us up, guys. It's gonna eat us up. Bye bye, laser pointer. Maybe he'll get enough health to stay alive. Nope. Oh, now we're relying on a crossbow, which is not good news. And this rocket's so good against our defense too that we can't win in fatigue plus root of life. Oh, I jinxed myself by saying we needed to win one more. Oh, that was a good build with the Voodoo Totem. Voodoo Totem counters are wild right now, dude. Too strong. I think legitimately too strong. I'm not just saying that because I just lost to it. It's not one of those like I'm bitter. I think they're just legit too good right now. No, we really said we wanted that. Dang, dude, I have so much junk. We really want Supercharger, maybe? Ah, yes. Another bonfire though. No, Supercharger's better, right? We want to hit these latching spores for it. I'm not, dude, this Necromancer Hunt actually chips in so much damage, I bet. Tinker Shop, Jump Starter, Tether, Jump Starter. Anything good on a Jump Starter here, man? Not really, right? Maybe you just do the Sun Altar because you got nothing else to hit. So now these latching spores are even stronger for even more life gain on the laser pointer. Is there a way to position the bonfires so that I can get one more corner on the I don't know. This is never going to be adjacent because it's 3 across, right? If it was 2 across, maybe. I don't even know if that would help. If it was 4 across, actually would help more, I suppose. So this does have a trigger speed, for the record, that will activate this Eternal Bonfire if I leave it there. Do I move it over 1 just because I want the laser pointer to get all of the hits? I guess. Means I can't put that research facility in there, though. Does that matter? Probably not. Maybe. I don't know. I don't think it hurts much. Again, it changes the acceleration, so it may help in some ways. We need it to happen faster. I don't see a Voodoo Totem, so I feel pretty good, actually. I think we're going to be okay. Although this has a lot of stuff going on, which is very cool. But I think at some point we're just going to accelerate out of range. Although they're having an insane assimilator as well. Dude, this is going to be a race. Laser pointer owns, though. Assimilator can't keep up right now. No, also, these just got so big, right? 1,700, 1,400. Pretty good spellbinding there. Oh, great. Okay, so we are guaranteed to have a victory this run. 12 wins is already an insane result. Really happy with that either way. Jeff can toss in here. Corrupt Shaman, I guess, can go there. Anything we're looking for at all here. Just literally just any filler's fine, right? It's just the final little run here. Sequoia, I don't think I can make space. Although I can dump these warehouses. They now do nothing. So I maybe can just do something like that, right? Just make some space like that. These can actually still go in, you know. 120 health. Again, not nothing. Novus 5. Nah, more defense here. Bamboo or something is just good. Say that, but where the heck does it go? Do I have anywhere to put this? Is there literally anywhere to put this? I mean, probably you can figure something out, but it's 3 only, right? Oh, man. Oh, boy. Hold up. We got to take more rolls, dude. Hold up. Structure 5, any good? Oh, terrible. Useless. Clock Tower hurts us. Brick by brick's kind of good again. Like, I'm sure I can make room for that, if nothing else. Okay, yeah. Where does this bamboo go, though, dude? Oh, just back here, maybe. Hilariously enough. Could probably go in the front where all these shrubs are, I guess, and just put these in random spots. That's probably the thing to actually do. Yeah. And then again, these can go back in. It's just little health boosts. Another defense, anything tiny really. This guy can go back here maybe. It's not really the perfect spot. Maybe actually goes here. That does make our crossbow technically a little slower. I don't have the lumberjack on it, but I honestly think that we don't care at all. The crossbow is not really the important thing here. Research facility, where do you want to go? Oh man, nowhere. You have nowhere to go, buddy. Go get that tree, research facility. God, I still got more stuff. I didn't even realize. Oh my god, crystal core? Thanatosis is pretty great with bamboos and stuff, but... Oh wait, you can use this on bonfires. I forgot, you can use this on bonfires, bro. It doesn't even matter. The diminishing returns are too far gone, but it is pretty crazy combo to find right at the end. It's kind of funny. Something we could have looked for earlier, but with 3 bonfires, you almost don't need it. So I think we're going to be okay here without any voodoo. I think we're going to be okay. There is a lot of piercing damage though, so if it got to my laser pointer before it healed up, that could be scary, but he is healing up a lot, right? It's already at 800, 1000. We're about to hit max speed. Look at that, dude. I love watching the machine gun go off. Yes. 6,000 health just like that. 2,000 DPS. So sick. Yeah, 15k damage. Crossbow at 5. Yeah, this was a cool build, dude. 13 wins is great too, by the way. Really cool build. We hit enchanter again. Nice. I was over 1,000 as you guys saw in the last video, and then I just started experimenting a lot. That's the hard part, is like I have to learn to help make the game, you know, but it makes your rank suck. I need a second account I can play for experimentation, you know, and then have my main account or whatever. Sick though, dude. That was a great run. Really cool use case there of some bonfires. You kind of saw how OP they were, why I put them clearing away into your S. Really silly speed hits there. I don't know, we may have to figure something out about that. I'm not sure. I don't totally hate that kind of game playing, because number one, getting 3 is pretty hard. It is at least a little bit rampy. It's not like an OTK like we had a little bit in the past, you know, but it might still have too high of a peak. I'm sure we could do with maybe like 10 or 15 hits on the bonfire to pull that down a little bit maybe, but for now we'll just see how it goes. But yeah, thanks for joining me. Appreciate you all a ton. As always, you know, if you don't know what the heck this game is, go find it on Steam. Wish lists are worth gold to us, so please always drop wish lists if you haven't yet. If you're playing and haven't wish listed, go hit this button right down here. It'll pop up on Steam, and you'll get the wish listed right here. Is a big old button. Add to your wish list. I don't even. Is it on my wish list? Oh my god. I don't know. I feel like I've hit that button a lot and it hasn't worked, so I'm not sure. But anyway, folks, stay tuned for more stuff. I'm sure we'll have a patch before too long. Share your thoughts on that tier list. Share your thoughts on this run. Thanks for watching, and I guess I will see you around.